forgot to start my workout for today. There are timestamps in the description box down below the video, so if you would like to skip straight ahead to the workout, you can use the chapter markers to do that. If you would like to see the exercises demonstrated and explained before we begin, let's go ahead and get into that right now, because I almost killed us all last Monday. I did promise you that this week, the Monday workout would be much shorter, so that's what you're getting today. 30 minutes of interval training. We are on 15-second rest intervals and 45-second work intervals. So of course I am using my interval timer. I'm also going to be using a set of dumbbells, my exercise mat, and a jump rope. So if you have a set of dumbbells, go ahead and get those ready. We're using them today. If you have a jump rope, grab your jump rope. And if you have an exercise mat or a yoga mat, grab that as well. If you don't have a mat, that's fine. A towel should work. If you don't have a jump rope, that's also fine. And if you don't have a set of dumbbells, don't worry, you can use household items. And if you don't want to add weight to the workout, we will also be going over equipment-free substitutions. So let's go ahead. I will show you the 3 exercises, the way I'm doing them, and then we'll talk about what to do if you don't have these pieces of equipment that I'm using today. There are really just 3 exercises that I'm doing with my dumbbells. My dumbbells weigh 10 pounds a piece. That is a good weight for me. You may need to use something lighter or heavier. That is going to depend on your strength, on your level of fitness, what you have available to you, and how hard you're looking to push yourself today. So please consider all of those factors when choosing your weights and make the decision that is best for you. If you don't have dumbbells, you can use household items. So for example, you could grab a couple of water bottles or shampoo bottles. You could fill them with water. You could fill them with uncooked rice or sand or dry beans, for example. Something like that would work just fine for these exercises. You could also just grab a couple of cans of soup from the pantry. Essentially, any number of household items will work as long as your items are, you're able to maintain a secure grip on whatever you choose so that you're not going to drop it and hurt yourself, and as long as it's not too heavy for you. So look for household items that will work. But if you don't have anything that's going to work for weight, or you just don't feel comfortable adding weight to your workout, that's fine. Don't click away. You can still do this workout right along with me. Of course, I will provide equipment-free modifications so that you can turn this into a body weight workout. So like I said, there are just 3 exercises I'm doing with my dumbbells. We'll get to those in just a second, but first let me address what to do if you don't have a jump rope, because we're going to be doing a lot of jump rope with this workout. So first of all, if you do have a jump rope, let me go ahead and tell you that when I jump rope, I always just kind of jog in place like this. But any style of jump rope you want to do is fine. So if you're more comfortable jumping with your feet together, you'll jump with your feet together. If you're really good at jump rope and you feel like doing something a little bit more challenging, you can do high knees or jump rope jacks. It doesn't matter. Any style of jump rope you want to do is fine. If you don't have a jump rope, the easiest way to modify that exercise, and what's going to be the most similar to what I'm doing, is to simply pantomime jumping rope. And I actually see a lot of YouTube videos that do this. So they actually sell, you can buy this if you want. That's fine, you'll get a lot of use out of it. If you follow my videos regularly, I jump rope a lot. So if you can't jump rope because you have low ceilings or you have poor coordination, but you still want to do the workouts with me, you can buy one of these. They sell them. It's a ropeless jump rope. It's really just 2 handles that you hold on to while you pantomime jumping rope, jumping over an imaginary rope, okay? So I don't know, I feel like there's gotta be something more to it than that. I feel like maybe the handles are weighted, or maybe there's a counter on them so you can see how many revolutions of the imaginary rope you've done. I don't know, I just know that these things exist. So if you want to go ahead and invest in something like that, go for it. I promise you'll get a ton of use out of it if you follow my workouts regularly. But you guys know my opinion on it is, if you are already jumping over an imaginary rope, I don't understand why you can't hold on to imaginary handles while you do that. So just pretending to jump rope with me, just pantomiming jumping rope, so with your feet together, or you can do it like I do it, any style of jump rope is fine, but that is a completely legitimate option, and it's probably the easiest substitution you can make, and obviously the most similar to what I'm doing. So that would be my first suggestion. If you don't want to do that, then any kind of cardio exercise you want to do is fine. So you can just jog in place. You can do high knees. You can do jumping jacks. All right, we're on 40-second or 45-second work intervals. So any type of cardio exercise that you can maintain for a 45-second work interval is fine. So if you have an exercise bike, for example, or an elliptical or a treadmill, something like that, you could hop on one of those for 45 seconds. That would work great if you have stairs in your home, or if there are steps somewhere, if you want to take this workout to the park, or a hiking trail where there's steps, or a beach where there's steps, or if you want to take it to the field at your local high school. If you have access to the field at your local high school, you can do up and down the bleachers. So up and down the bleachers, up and down the steps, either in your home or at the park or wherever you have access to steps, is another great option. If you have a heavy bag, I love that option. You can just work on your heavy bag for 45-second intervals. If you don't have a heavy bag, you can shadow box. Okay, basically, any type of cardio exercise you want to do is fine. So just pick something that works for you. Like I said, we're on 45-second work intervals. So as long as you choose an exercise that you can sustain over the course of a 45-second work interval, then really any type of cardio exercise will work. So that's your first equipment-free substitution. Now, I already talked about what to do if you don't have dumbbells. So let me go ahead and show you the exercises the way I'm doing them with my dumbbells. So you can also be holding on to water bottles or shampoo bottles or cans of soup, some other type of item, like a household item for weight. After we go over the exercises the way I'm doing them, I will show you your equipment-free modifications in case you don't have anything that's going to work for weight, or you just don't want to add weight. So the first exercise is just an overhead press. We're adding an oblique twist. This is an exercise that I typically do with my sandbag. So that's another option for this one. If you have a sandbag or something similar that you can use a sandbag for this exercise, and I'll demonstrate that for you real quickly. But first, let me show you the exercise the way I'm going to be doing it today with my dumbbells. So I'm just going to pick up my dumbbells, and I'm going to bring them up to my shoulders like this. My palms are facing you. My feet are just a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. So I'm just going to press one weight up overhead at a time. We're going to alternate sides, and as I press the weight up overhead, I'm going to pick up the heel of my foot that's on the same side as the weight that I'm pressing up overhead. So I'm going to start with this arm, pressing the weight up overhead, and as I do that, I'm picking up the heel of the foot on the same side, and I'm going to twist so that I'm facing the wall on the opposite side. Then I'm going to reverse the movement. So bending the elbow and bringing the weight back down to my shoulder. And as I do that, I'm pivoting this foot so that the toes are facing forward again, and then I'm placing my heel back down on the ground. We're alternating sides. So now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to lift the other weight up overhead. And as I do that, I'm going to lift the heel of my foot that's on the same side as the weight that's being pressed up overhead. I'm going to pivot on the toes of that foot. As I do this oblique twist, I'm twisting my body to face the wall on the opposite side, and then I'm going to reverse the movement. So as I bend my elbow and bring this weight back down to my shoulder, I'm pivoting this foot back forward so the toes are facing forward again, and placing the heel down. So let me show you a couple of reps a little faster so you can see the flow of it. Press the weight up overhead as you pick up that heel and pivot to turn to face the wall on the opposite side. Reverse the movement in a controlled manner. Lower the weight back down to your shoulder, and now other side, press the weight up overhead, pivoting on your toes to face the wall on the opposite side, and now bring the weight back down to the shoulder as you pivot that foot to face forward again. I usually do this exercise with my sandbag. It's much more difficult with my sandbag because my sandbag is filled with about 25 pounds of sand. So even though I'm holding close to the same amount of weight, when I'm using my dumbbells, I'm just pushing 10 pounds of weight up over my head at a time. When I use my sandbag, I'm pushing the full 25 pounds of weight up over my head every time. So that's another thing to consider if you want to use a sandbag or something similar. But if you have a sandbag Or if you can make something similar using a backpack or a duffel bag filled with some sort of weight, so maybe bags of beans or rice, or kitty litter, something like that. Anything you can put in a duffel bag or a backpack to make something similar to this, you could do the exercise this way. So when I do this exercise with my sandbag, I just start with the sandbag right in front of my chest like this. And from there, it's the same exercise, but instead of pressing one dumbbell up overhead at a time, I'm using both arms with each rep to press the sandbag up overhead. But I'm still alternating sides with regard to the twist. So now I'm going to do the same thing, but picking up the heel of the opposite foot, pivoting on the toes, and twisting to face the other side. Okay, so with the sandbag, or if you want to fill a duffel bag or a backpack with some sort of weight, it will look like this. So that's another option. And you can also do the exercise that way with a medicine ball or a kettlebell or just one dumbbell. Okay, so if you have something like a kettlebell or a medicine ball, or if you just want to use one dumbbell, you can just hold your weight in front of your chest like this and just alternate sides with the twist for each rep. But with each rep, just use both arms to press your weight up overhead. That works totally fine. Now, if you're someone who doesn't feel comfortable adding weight to your workouts, I hear you, I understand. However, I very strongly recommend trying this exercise with some sort of weight. Even if it's a very light dumbbell or a water bottle filled with water, it's only gonna weigh a couple of pounds. I really think that even the most ultimate beginners, even if you feel like you have no upper body strength whatsoever, I strongly encourage you to try this exercise the way I just demonstrated it. If you need to hold on to a very light weight, then hold on to a very light weight. You can just fill a water bottle and do the exercise with a water bottle, but I did promise you that I would provide equipment-free substitutions. So if you just don't have anything that you can use for weight, I mean, you can go to the beach or a hiking trail or the park and find a rock that you can use for weight. But let's say you have nothing you can use for weight, or you really just are adamant you do not want to add weight to the workout, you're going to need to change the exercise, because if you are not pressing a weight up overhead, then it really makes absolutely no sense to do this movement. So here's what I'm going to recommend instead. It's an exercise that I think I invented. I'm sure someone else has had put this combination of moves together before I did it, but at the time, years ago, when I first did this exercise, I think I kind of invented it. It's not like I saw it anywhere, I just thought of it. So I call it punch, punch, crunch. So as the name would suggest, you're gonna start by doing 2 cross-body punches. You're gonna punch, punch, and then here's the crunch. You're gonna lift one knee, and you're gonna do an oblique twist and bring the opposite elbow to meet your knee. And then you're going to continue alternating sides for the crunch with each rep. So now you're going to punch, punch, and crunch, okay? So you're just punching across your body with power. Don't just go through the motions. If you're doing this, really make it a powerful punch. Imagine that you're punching through a board or something, okay? So punch, punch, and now see how when I punch, this heel kind of naturally comes off the floor, or the ground. That's the leg that's going to lift up for your crunch. So as you lift up that knee, you're going to twist and crunch. Do an oblique crunch and tap the knee with your opposite elbow. So I know it's really not exactly the same exercise, but if you are just really determined to not lift any weight, I think it's a good substitution. If it's not going to work for you and you need help coming up with a substitution, please just ask. I'm sure we can find something that you can do, but I think that this is an exercise that beginners can manage, and I think that it's a good substitution if you don't want to lift any weight. So you're just gonna punch, punch, crunch, punch, punch, crunch, okay? Alternating sides. And that is your equipment-free substitution. The next exercise is a compound movement. I'm using just one dumbbell, and we're starting with a squat. So when you do your squats, the first thing I want you to think of is trying to tuck your shoulder blades into your back pockets so that you start with the correct posture. That's going to cause your shoulders to be back and down. It's going to help you keep your chest lifted nice and high. The next thing I want you to think about is really engaging your core. Imagine someone is about to punch you in the stomach and you're bracing for impact, okay? So really tighten up your abs. And then what I want you to think about is not squatting straight down. When I think about my squat as going straight down, my knees tend to end up over my toes. That's not the movement. So after you have tucked your shoulder blades into your back pockets, your shoulders are back and down, your chest is lifted nice and high, and your abs are super tight, your entire core is engaged. The next thing I want you to visualize is trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty. Why? Because if I do that, if I really think about trying to touch the wall behind me with my booty, look at where my knees are. My knees are over my heels now, as opposed to being out over my toes. My weight is in my heels and my back is flat, and that is the position you want to sink down into your squat, okay? So, shoulders back and down, chest is lifted high, core is engaged. Push the booty back, and with a flat back and the weight in your heels, sink down into your squat. Now actively press your heels into the ground, push the ground away from you to stand. All right, so I'm going to be holding on to one dumbbell as I do that, and I'm using my dumbbell as a counterweight. So as I sink down into my squat, I'm going to bring the dumbbell up in front of me. So I have one hand on either side of my dumbbell. I'm starting with my dumbbell in front of my hips like this. And as I sink down into my squat, I'm just going to lift the dumbbell up straight in front of me. As I press my heels into the ground and stand, I'm lowering the dumbbell back down and returning to my starting position. That's the first half of the movement. From here, I'm going to lift the dumbbell straight up overhead, and then again in a controlled movement, lower the weight back down. You don't want to just let the weight drop down, you're controlling the movement, okay? So to put it all together, it's a counterweight squat, and then an overhead arm raise. So squat, lift the weight up in front of you, return to the starting position, then lift the weight straight up overhead, control the movement as you lower the weight back down. So again, you can do that holding on to a kettlebell or a medicine ball or a household item like a water bottle or a shampoo bottle. And if you don't want to add weight, just do any squat variation you want. There are millions of squat variations. So just pick any squat variation that works for you. You will eliminate the overhead arm raise if you're not holding on to weight, because there's really no point in doing this if you're not lifting anything up over your head. So any squat variation you want to do is fine. Just remember to mind your form. Shoulders back and down, chest lifted high, core is engaged, push the booty back, keep your back flat, and the weight in your heels as you sink into your squat, and then press the ground away to stand. For the third and final exercise, I will show you your equipment-free substitution first, and then I'm going to be doing the exact same exercise holding onto dumbbells. So it's just a sit up. You're going to start down here on your mat. My knees are bent and my feet are flat on the mat. I'm going to have my hands together in front of my chest, and I'm going to sit up. Once I'm up here, I'm going to add 2 cross body punches. So you're going to punch across your body one way and then punch across your body the other way. It's the same thing with our punch, punch, crunch. Just make sure that you're not kind of just going through the motions. Make sure those punches have power, powerful punches, okay? And then you're just going to sit back down and return to your starting position, okay? Super simple. You don't want to do the punches. You can do any sit-up variation or any ab exercise you want to do, okay? So just do what works for you, but your equipment-free substitution, if you want to do what I'm doing, is just a sit-up, punch, punch. Sit-up, punch, punch. Okay, just like that. Super simple. I'm going to be doing the same thing, holding on to my dumbbells, so you can hold on to water bottles or shampoo bottles. If you want to, if you're using a medicine ball or a kettlebell, then you can do Russian twists. Let me grab my dumbbells and I'll show you how to modify the exercise if you are using something like a medicine ball or a kettlebell. So for this exercise, I'm going to be holding my dumbbells together like this. So this is 20 pounds of weight that I'm adding to this exercise. So again, just consider your strength and your level of fitness. Make the decision that is best for you. I am going to start by holding my dumbbells together in front of my chest. I'm going to sit up, and then I'm going to punch and punch. So I'm going to punch across my body one way, then the other, and then I'm going to reverse the movement and return to my starting position. Okay, it's the exact same exercise, but I'm holding on to dumbbells. If holding on to both of your dumbbells is too much for this exercise, if that's too much weight for you, then you can do the exercise with just one dumbbell. Put one hand on either side of the dumbbell like this, and this is the same modification that you'll use if you are using a kettlebell or a medicine ball, okay? You're just gonna do Russian twists instead. So you're going to start down here on your mat, on your back, on your mat, with your knees bent and your feet flat on the mat. You're holding your weight in front of your chest, whether that's a dumbbell, a medicine ball, a kettlebell, a can of soup, a water bottle. You have one hand on either side of your weight and you're holding it in front of your chest. Now you're going to sit up and you're going to twist and tap the weight to one side, twist and tap the weight to the other side, bring the weight back to the center in front of your chest, and then reverse the movement. You can do this with your heels on the ground, like this. If you want to increase the difficulty, you can do this with your feet elevated off the ground. So you can start with your feet on the ground if you want, and then sit up, lift the heels off the ground, and do your Russian twists, and then sit back down. If you want to challenge yourself even further, you can have your heels elevated off the mat the entire time. So this can be your starting position. Sit up, twist and tap, and then return to your starting position, keeping your heels elevated off the mat the entire time. So that's another option, but just remember that any sit-up variation you want to do will work, and really any ab exercise you want to do is fine. So that's all of the exercises. Now here's the format. We are on 15-second rest intervals, 45-second work intervals times 30 rounds. So that's our 30 minutes. Now here's how you're going to kind of parse it out in your brain to make it make sense and so you don't lose track of where you are. So there are 3 different strength training exercises. We are going to take one exercise at a time, and we are going to alternate between that one exercise and jump rope for 5 intervals. So you're going intervals 1, 3, and 5 is going to be your strength training exercise. Intervals 2 and 4 is going to be jump rope. So our first 5 minutes is going to look like this. Our very first work interval is going to be our overhead press with oblique twist. Interval number 2 is going to be jump rope. And then we're going to do that again. So interval 3, 1, 3, and 5 is strength training. So our third interval, we're going to go back to that same exercise, our overhead press with oblique twist. Interval number 4 is going to be jump rope. And then for our 5th and final interval, we're going to do our strength training exercise again, the same exercise. So overhead press with oblique twist. That's our first 5 minutes. So that's the pattern. We're just going to repeat that pattern for each of the 2 other strength training exercises. So each of those strength training exercises, we're going to alternate between the strength training exercise and jump rope for 5 intervals, which is 5 minutes. Okay, so after our first 5 minutes, we're going to repeat that same pattern with our second strength training exercise, which was our counterweight squat plus an overhead press. So intervals 1, 3, and 5, what am I doing with my fingers, is going to be our strength training exercise. Intervals 2 and 4 is going to be jump rope. So that's going to be our next 5 minutes, and then we'll do the same thing with our sit-ups. So sit-ups, jump rope, sit-ups, jump rope, sit-ups. That's our final 5 minutes. So after we complete each of our 3 strength training exercises, alternating with jump rope for 5 rounds. That's gonna be 15 minutes, 5 minutes on each exercise. So then we're just gonna go back and repeat the whole thing. Okay, so hopefully it's making sense and you see the pattern. Strength, cardio, strength, cardio, strength. That's all you need to repeat to yourself. So as soon as you've completed 5 intervals on one exercise, you're gonna move to the next exercise and repeat that same pattern. Strength, cardio, strength, cardio, strength, okay? Dumbbell, jump rope, dumbbell, jump rope, dumbbell, okay? That's the pattern, and we're just gonna do that for each exercise twice through the circuit. If it sounds confusing, please remember that I always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video, so hopefully that will help clarify things, but I'm gonna show you my entire workout from start to finish. So I will talk you through it as we're going. If you're going to work out along with the video, you really just have to do what I'm doing. So you don't have to keep track of anything, but if you're going to go and do the workout on your own, watch me do it first, read the instructions, but then of course, as always, if anything is unclear about the format and how it all fits together, please just ask. I'm always here to answer questions. And if anything is unclear about the exercises that we're doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do the exercises with the correct form, please just ask. And I will be more than happy to clarify, because it's really important that you understand how to do the exercises correctly before you begin the workout, so that you reduce your risk of injury and just so that you make sure you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. I want you to know that my workouts work. These are effective workouts. These are effective exercises. So it's in my best interest that you see the results of your hard work. You're not gonna see the results as much as you could if you're not really minding your form. So mind your form so that you get the maximum benefit out of each exercise. And if you have any questions about how to do the exercises correctly, I'm right here to help. So please just ask. And you guys know it is also incredibly important to me that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me. I'm always here to help facilitate that. So again, please don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions or beginner modifications beyond what I've already provided. One final note about the format is that, you know, I have several playlists on my channel of workouts of varying in length. I have an entire playlist of 5-minute workouts. I have a playlist of 10-minute workouts, 12-minute workouts, 15 and 16-minute workouts, 18-minute workouts, 20-minute workouts, 30-minute workouts. So this, what I'm doing today, is a 30-minute workout. However, if you are looking for a 15-minute workout, you can just do the first half. So you can just go through our circuit of exercises once, and instead of repeating the whole thing a second time, you can very easily just do this once through, do half of the workout with me if you're looking for a 15-minute workout. So for that reason, I will be including this workout on my playlist of 15-minute workouts. So if you chose this workout off of my playlist of 15-minute workouts because you only have 15 minutes today and you're specifically looking to do a 15-minute workout, you'll just set your timer for 15 rounds of 15-second rest intervals and 45-second work intervals, and you'll go through the circuit just once with me. You can also take a break halfway through, so you can set your timer for 15-second rest intervals, 45-second work intervals times 15 rounds. Go through the circuit once and then take a break, towel off, hydrate, and then repeat the whole thing after you've had a little break. So there are always ways to customize the format to suit your needs, to suit your level of fitness, and to suit your time constraints, and to suit your space and whatever equipment you have access to. So feel free to make whatever modifications and adjustments you need to make it work for you. And again, if you need help with any of that, just reach out. I'm always here to help. And the last thing I want to make sure you're aware of, I just have to reiterate, especially if you're going to be working out along with the video, is to go at your own pace and mind your form. Do not sacrifice your form for speed. So the concept when we're doing interval training is that you want to do your best to not rest during the work intervals. During those work intervals, your goal is to complete as many reps of the exercise as you possibly can, but you need to make sure you're working to your own level. 45 seconds is a long work interval, so if you need to pause and rest during the work interval, that is what you should do. If you need to slow down your pace, that is what you should do, okay? You have to put in the work at the level you're at now. That is how you will get stronger. That is how eventually you will see yourself able to increase your range of motion and able to get more reps done in that 45-second work interval, but you don't get there until you put in the work at the level you're at now. So don't push your body into doing something it's not ready to do. Make sure you're working to your own level. Go at your own pace. Rest if you need to, and just do your best, okay? My daily gentle reminder to myself more than anyone else, your best is always good enough. So let your best be good enough, okay? Go at your own pace, mind your form. Don't sacrifice your form for speed. Don't push your body into doing something it's not ready to do, and do your best, and let that be good enough. Because it is. I think I have covered everything, so if you are ready to start this workout, go ahead and grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. If not, a towel should suffice. Grab a set of dumbbells or maybe a medicine ball or a kettlebell. If not, household items, shampoo bottles or water bottles or a couple of cans of soup if you're adding weight to the workout. If you don't want to add weight to your workout, that's fine. You have your equipment-free options. Grab your jump rope if you have one, and if you're jumping rope with me today, take a minute to make sure you are good and warmed up, and when you're ready, let's get started. All right, my watch is going. I'm starting my timer right now. Remember, we're starting with a 15-second rest interval so that you have a few seconds to get ready. And remember, we are alternating strength, cardio, strength, cardio, strength. That's the pattern. So starting with our first strength training exercise, weights up by the shoulders. You're going to press one weight at a time up overhead. And as you press the weight up overhead, you're going to add that oblique twist, pivoting on your toes to turn and face the wall on the opposite side. So as I press the weight up overhead, the heel of my foot that's on the same side as the weight that's being pressed up overhead is coming up off the ground, and I'm pivoting on those toes, feeling that twist in my obliques, and then reversing the movement. Make sure you're controlling the movement as you lower the weight back down to your shoulder. Now quickly, we have a 15-second rest interval. So grab your jump rope, and we're going to jump rope for 45 seconds. Do your best. 45 seconds is a long work interval for jump rope. Any style of jump rope you want to do is fine. And if you don't have a jump rope, you can be jogging in place. You can do high knees, jumping jacks, twist jumps, mountain climbers. Any kind of cardio exercise is totally fine. Okay, now quickly, we have 15 seconds to transition back. So drop the rope, pick up your weights, and here we go. down, grab the jump rope. Another 45-second jump rope interval. Or whatever kind of cardio exercise you're doing. Final interval for this strength training exercise for now. And then that's our pattern. We're just going to repeat that same pattern for the next 2 strength training exercises. So that much is going to take us 15 minutes. If you just want to do a 15-minute workout, you can stop there. If you want to do a 30-minute workout, then we're going to just repeat the entire thing once more. So remember, we always start and end with our strength training exercise. So this time, it's our counterweight squat with an overhead arm raise. I know it's tough. I know 45 seconds is a long work interval. So do your best. Back to jump rope. Remember the pattern. So we're sticking with the same exercise. alternating between our strength exercise and cardio. So one more interval of squats completes this pattern, and then we'll move on to our next strength training exercise. Okay, quickly onto the mat for sit-ups. Weighted, if you want, you can use one weight or two. This is a difficult transition. All right, do your best. Back to sit-ups. trying to do this transition a little quicker so I can lose less time off of my work interval. Last interval of sit-ups. That's once through the circuit. So if you're just doing 15 minutes, then you're done. If you're continuing on with me and doing the whole 30 minutes, then we just have to repeat all that once more. So if you want to break, you can pause the video here. Take a good 5 minutes or so to rest, towel off, hydrate, maybe eat a half a banana, and then come back and tackle part 2. That's up to you. I'm going forward. I'm going to go straight through. As difficult as it is, so it's the same pattern. Intervals 1, 3, and 5. It's our strength training exercise. Intervals 2 and 4 are jump rope. So each 5-minute section starts and ends with our strength exercise. And the jump rope intervals are just there in between to break it up for us. Another 45 seconds of jump rope, and then we have One more interval of overhead presses. Final interval of overhead presses. So that was our 5th interval. Now we're moving on to our next strength training exercise. Counterweight squat, overhead arm raise. Back to squats. One more jump rope interval. Our final 5 minutes. So this is our final strength exercise. Sit-ups. I'm losing a lot off of my work interval, but it's okay because I'm not able to get that many reps done at this point anyway. Just do your best. Okay, as quickly as you can. Jump rope. I'm gonna be losing time off of each of these work intervals. Try to lose as little time as you can off of your work interval. Let's push. Sit-ups or whatever ab exercise you're doing, with or without weights. Gotta push. Am I supposed to get up fast? This is our final jump rope interval. Let's push. Somewhere. This should be our last interval all day. So let's push. Final set of sit-ups. and move around. Shake it off. Shake out the arms, shake out the legs. That is our 30 minutes. Amazing. So if you follow my workouts regularly and you saw last Monday's workout, you know that last Monday I was out here for 4 hours. So I promised you that this Monday we would do something nice and short, and I thought when I wrote this workout that I was writing a nice, easy, short workout, but that was a really tough 30 minutes for me anyway. You guys know I've also lost a lot of strength and I've been struggling a lot with my stamina, so the workouts generally are harder for me right now, but that was a lot more taxing than I anticipated. It was a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be, so I'm really curious to know what you thought about it. I'm curious to know if you did the whole 30 minutes or if you just did the first 15 minutes. I thought that first half made a great 15-minute workout. So let me know if you did just 15 minutes or if you did the whole 30 minutes with me. Let me know if you did the 30 minutes straight through like I did, or if you did what I said and took a break in between, did the first half and then paused the video and took a good 5 minutes to rest, hydrate, towel off, and then come back and finish up the second half separately. Just let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Let me know if you did it as written, the way I did it, or if you tweaked the format, and let me know if you found it as challenging as I did. Were you struggling like as much as I was struggling? I'm just curious. So yeah, if you did the workout, first of all, thank you. You rock. Just let me know what you thought of it and how you did. We are not quite finished yet. You know that no workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. However, when I do a workout that includes jump rope, in addition to my bonus burpee, I also like to do a bonus set of 100 with my jump rope. It is completely optional, but if you would like to join me, we're just gonna do one set of 100. So by a set of 100, I just mean 100 revolutions of the jump rope. So I'm just gonna count 100 revolutions of the rope. Any style of jump rope you wanna do is fine. If you would like to join me, here we go. So count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 91, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 100. So that's our little jump rope bonus. And now we have just one rep left to go. Let's go ahead and do our bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete. Here we go. Final rep of the day. When you're ready. With that, the workout is now officially complete, but it is Monday, so that means it is time for another Monday McFlurry mobility challenge. I found another mobility challenge on Instagram. I'm going to attempt to complete it right now, and if I am able to successfully complete this mobility challenge, everybody wins a free McFlurry. Now again, if you remember last Monday's video, and if you watched that whole 4-hour video, and you remember after the workout when we did the mobility challenge, I said that I found a mobility challenge, but it was really kind of complicated and involved, and after that long, tough workout, I just did not have the mental acuity to parse out what she was doing and try to figure out the movement. So I said, we'll save that one for this week. We did a much simpler mobility challenge last week. So this week, after this much shorter workout, I do believe that I am going to be able to focus on what she is doing. I'm watching the reel right now. I'm going to figure out this movement, and then we can try it together. I'll show you what I'm looking at. I'll put the reel on the screen right now so that you can see what I'm looking at and we can kind of talk through it together and try to figure out the movement. All right, so she's starting on her belly. She's picking up that foot. So she brought the foot over her back and then she placed it down. Now she's doing the same thing on the other side. So she places that foot facing the opposite wall. All right, let's watch it again. So the foot is facing up, then she kind of spins around and winds up in a lunge. Now she's doing this little pirouette. You can do a pirouette if you want. I am not doing the little pirouette. I'm just going to eliminate that. So if you eliminate the little pirouette, she's right back there in the lunge position. And then she's just reversing the movement. So let's watch it one more time. So she's just going into that lunge, and then she's going back down onto her belly, and then she's repeating the movement on the other side. And then back down onto her belly, returning to the starting position. Watch it one more time because it's a little complicated. So you can do that little pirouette if you want. I'll explain why I'm not doing the, well, there's a couple of reasons I'm not doing the pirouette, but you can do it if you want. All right, so it looks complicated just because there's like a lot of movement going on, but really she's doing the same thing twice. It's a mirror image, so if you just concentrate on the first half of the reel, and if you eliminate that pirouette, I think the pirouette kind of makes it seem like more than it really is. So let's just try to simplify it. Let's walk through it once together and see if we can figure out the movement. All right, so if you would like to try this mobility challenge with me, let's go ahead and try to figure this thing out together. We're gonna start down on the mat. So come down onto your belly on your mat. Now the first thing she was doing was bending one knee, and now she was pushing off of her mat or off of the floor with her hands, and she was picking up this leg, bringing it across her back and placing the foot down so that it's facing this wall opposite. Now you're gonna have to use your momentum as you're turning in this direction because I believe she was transferring her weight into this heel, okay? So now from here, she was pivoting to face forward and coming up into this lunge position. Now here's where you can add the little pirouette if you would like. I'm not going to be adding the pirouette. I don't think it's relevant to this as a mobility challenge, but if you would like to, this is where she was adding that little pirouette. So she was bringing this front knee forward and then spinning around, doing her little pirouette. But it's really kind of irrelevant because then she was landing right back in this position. And then she was just reversing the movement. So then from here, we're just gonna rotate back into this kind of really deep side lunge position. And then she was putting this, the leg that's straight, she was putting that booty cheek back down on the mat. And then she was just, right? I'm gonna have to watch it again, but then I think she was just returning to the starting position and then doing the same thing on the other side. So now lift or bend the opposite knee and use your hands to push off the mat. She was bringing this leg up and around, placing the foot down so that your toes are facing the opposite wall. And now again, when we do it for real, you're gonna have to use your momentum. We're gonna need the movement to flow. You're gonna use your momentum to carry your weight forward into this heel. And then from this position, we're going to pivot so that our toes are facing forward. We're gonna come down into this lunge position. You can add the little pirouette here if you would like. And then from here, we're just gonna reverse it once more. So pivoting back into our deep side lunge position and then back down onto the booty, right? And then she was just rolling back onto her belly. Isn't that it? I'm gonna have to watch the reel just one more time, but I think that's it. Yeah, I just watched it again, and I think that's basically it, okay? So if you're ready to try it, let's go ahead and see if we can put all that together and make the movement flow. And if we can do it, we all get to eat ice cream for lunch. So if you're doing this with me, come on down to your belly. Now you're gonna bend one knee, push off the mat, into this side lunge position. Now pivot forward, and then we're gonna reverse the movement. So pivot your feet back this way, back down onto your booty, and onto your belly. Now we're gonna repeat that on the other side. So bend the opposite leg. You're gonna push off the mat and bring this foot up and behind you. Landing in this side lunge position. Now pivot the feet forward and reverse the movement. Back into your side lunge position. And now back onto your booty. Spin around and return to your starting position. We did it! Success! Ice cream for lunch. So for me, I think eliminating that little pirouette kind of simplified the movement a lot in my brain, and it made it make a lot more sense, and just made it seem much more doable. So if you want to challenge yourself and throw in the little pirouette, good on you. Let me know if you are able to successfully add that extra little element in there. But in as much as this is a mobility challenge, I don't feel bad about eliminating the pirouette. I don't think it's really relevant to Mobility Mondays. So if you were not successful the first attempt, let's go ahead and try it again. You know, we always do 3 tries. It's like the warped wall on American Ninja Warrior. So 3 tries. As long as you are successful by that 3rd attempt, that means you have conquered this challenge. Now remember, it doesn't matter. Even if you fail all 3 times, you still get a free McFlurry. Follow me on Instagram, follow McDonald's on Instagram, show them my story, and collect your free ice cream. It is just that easy. But if you want to complete this challenge successfully and you need a couple more attempts, let's go ahead and tackle attempt number 2 together. If you were successful the first time, you can skip this, or you can do the 2nd attempt in solidarity with those of us who need a couple more tries to get it right. And in the meantime, you can work on cleaning yours up. So I was successful the first time, but I want to work on cleaning it up. So I'm going to go ahead and try, oh my goodness, did you hear my knees? Everything's crackling. I'm going to try a 2nd attempt. So I'm going to see if I can get it to flow a little bit faster and make it a little bit cleaner. So when you're ready, here we go. Bend the knee, push off the mat, right into your side lunge. Pivot forward into that forward lunge, pirouette if you would like. If not, just come back down here with me into the side lunge and then return to your starting position. Now we're gonna repeat that on the other side. So bending the opposite leg, push off your mat, right into this side lunge position. Pivot forward, pirouette if you would like. If not, back into your side lunge, spin it around, and return to your starting position. So I did manage to do that one a little bit faster. It flowed a little better, but it still wasn't very clean. I want to do one more so I can try to see if I can clean it up a little bit. So if you still haven't gotten it, let's try one more time when you're ready. Coming down to your belly. And now bend one leg, push off your mat. Side lunge, forward lunge, pirouette, optional. Reverse the movement. Other side. Bend the knee, push off the mat. Let your momentum carry you forward into that side lunge. Pivot into your forward lunge, pirouette if you would like. And reverse the movement. That's it, that's attempt number 3. That was my sloppiest one yet. And I actually kind of wasn't even successful that time because I bobbled and I had to put my hand down. I'm trying to do the movement faster and see if I can make it flow a little more. So that time it happened at the expense of my cleanliness. So I'm going to keep at it. I'm going to try it a few more times and see if I can get it really nice and clean so I can make a little reel. But I did successfully complete the mobility challenge. So we do all get to eat ice cream for lunch today, and we don't have to pay for it. You're welcome. Another successful Monday McFlurry mobility challenge in the books. If you did this mobility challenge with me today, let me know what you thought of it and how you did with it. Were you successful? How many attempts did it take you? Did you include the little pirouette? Inquiring minds want to know. So let me know if you did the mobility challenge, and let me know what you thought of it and how you did. If you did this workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately. And even if you are not doing the workouts with me, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. You guys truly are the best. It means the world to me. You have no idea. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. And of course, a great big thank you to those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years. Please know that I appreciate you all so very much. One final reminder that if anything is unclear with the format and how everything fits together, I know this format is a little bit different, maybe a little bit tricky, so I'm right here to answer questions if you have them. If you have any doubt about how to do the exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions or beginner modifications, I'm right here, so don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need help. That is gonna do it for today. But before I say goodbye, I have to say one final thank you to those of you who have been watching the videos all the way until the end and commenting with the secret code phrase of the day. So before I say goodbye, I will give you today's secret code phrase of the day. It is inquiring minds want to know. I know that's kind of a dumb one, but honestly, I forgot to come up with a secret code phrase of the day today. And I just said inquiring minds want to know, so I'm just gonna make that the secret code phrase of the day. Normally the secret code phrase of the day is like a line from a movie or a TV show, but I might start incorporating some vintage commercial taglines. That might be a nice change of pace. So today's secret code phrase is officially inquiring minds want to know. So if you are still watching this video, hello, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please let me know that someone is still watching by going down to the comment section and leaving me a comment that says, inquiring minds want to know. That is gonna do it for today, and I will see you all next time. Bye.